Welcome to TechWire, a conversation about government, politics, and technology. My name is Christina Gagnier, and today I'm joined by Erika, the Chief of IT Operations for California's Department of Finance. Erika, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Christina.
So can you talk a little bit about your role? My understanding is that you're sort of in a little consultancy that goes in and advises from a finance perspective on IT projects.
Yes, so I'm chief over the IT consulting unit at the Department of Finance, and basically it's a very small unit, but what we do is we, along with our colleagues at the Department of Technology, kind of oversee and look into the statewide IT projects. In departments, again, there's small IT projects, it could be large IT projects that impact more than a single department, but we basically go in, we look at, from a financial perspective, sort of, disentangle these IT projects and see what it is that their business needs are, what potential solutions there are, the impacts to funding, things that might be of assistance to projects.
And what do you see as some of the challenges and obstacles in your role?
Well, one thing is we're a small unit, so we can only really cover so many IT projects, and we would like to really spend and dive deep into these IT projects, but we don't have the resources to do that. So we do depend on our colleagues, again, at the Department of Technology, working side by side, allowing them to take the lead on technology issues and business issues, and really getting involved where we can to offer assistance and to ask maybe some hard questions to make sure that departments are going on the right track and that projects are going along the right track.
So speaking of projects, I understand that you've just gone through fiscal implementation, so you can talk a little bit about that and how that's going.
Sure. So my background has really been more of overseeing projects and understanding project management, and this was the first time I was able to engage in actually a full-on implementation of a new system. At the same time that we're still trying to utilize our legacy systems. And I think I really better understand the idea of change management. I understand sponsorship and how important it is to have buy-in at every level, but particularly to have that executive buy-in so that that my bosses have my back, they understand I'm learning this, or that I need to allow my staff extra time to do the things that probably would have taken them less time to do in a system that they were very familiar with. And so just the amount of effort and kind of just determination that goes on to really implement successfully an IT project is much more than I ever imagined it can be. And I've really seen people rise to the occasion because they want to see this system succeed, and they want to see it succeed because they do have that buy-in and they understand the importance of what this new system will mean for them and their abilities to do their job and get it done quicker, faster, better.
So what's on the horizon for you and your team?
Oh, wow. Well, we're excited to, again, we're working with the Department of Technology on their new STAR process. So we're, as usual, having a lot of input and discussion on, well, how do we engage IT projects, the IT community, and how do we make the IT project approval process better? How do we communicate better with the legislature? And that's one key communication that I want to improve, actually, is to allow the administration and the IT community to feel like they can outreach to the legislative staff and members, and that they really have engaged those key stakeholders who are making decisions on their budgets. And so I think it's really important for the administration to be very active in reaching out to their stakeholders outside of their own departments, outside of their immediate stakeholders, so that they can, again, get buy-in and support from legislative members and others who have to vote on things that are quite important for these projects.
And what are some obstacles in that? I mean, there's probably some technology gap. I mean, one big issue, and this is not just singular to our state legislature, but across the country, is you're trying to do large-scale projects. They're very important for infrastructure reasons, also for efficiency and effectiveness reasons. Then you're communicating perhaps to an audience that might not quite understand, the importance of what you're doing. So, how do you bridge that gap?
Absolutely. I think one way that I've always attempted to communicate with people who are not in the IT community is to just get rid of all the jargon. I mean, get rid of the acronyms and the things that are very easily, thrown into IT conversations when you are talking with technologists, and talk with a person as if they're your cousin or your aunt, and relay information to them in a way that's understandable. So that's the first thing, without obviously sounding condescending, because that's important too. These are smart people who are engaged and interested in public service and the things that the public dollars can be used for, and a very important way in which we use our public dollars is to build infrastructure that support programs that are very important to them. So whether they're health and welfare, they're other social services, they're the tax programs that bring in revenue so that we have monies to do good works for the state. I think that is one way to bridge the IT divide, is to really relate why we're building the things we are, who are the people that will be benefiting from these programs, and why it's important to them to make sure that we have systems that work, that aren't crashing, that people can go and they can log on online. They don't have to go into the DMV, or they can get their benefits on their electronic benefit transfer cards, and they don't have to just go back and forth for a variety of things. The things are much more automated and easily accessible. I think if you can allow a member to understand how you're reaching out to their constituents, that's a lot more of an interesting conversation than widgets or programming or anything that it might be very, IT oriented.
Yeah, it sounds like getting back to basics and kind of citizen-centered delivery makes a lot of sense when you're having those conversations.
Right. And I think that's important too for the IT community to remember why they are doing the things they're doing. And they're not just trying to build or write a program or build a system, but that these systems are actually benefiting people, and whether or not they're saving lives or they're improving lives, that's really important. And they should be really proud of what they do, and they should try to market it in a way that people understand.
Well, Erika, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you to our audience for once again joining us in a conversation about government, politics, and technology.